All right, morning everyone.
Morning.
What a great group. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So welcome. I know most of you, all of you obviously, you would be here. But good morning, my name is Deborah. And you guys are in for a magical treat today. So I'm very excited to have you here. And I just want to maybe cover off some housekeeping so that y'all know how the day's going to kind of shake out. So about every 90 minutes, give or take a few, I'll give you guys a restroom break, and you can return calls or texts or emails or whatever it is you think you need to do at that time. And they're anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. So, just keep to the timeline so that you don't miss anything, right? And then somewhere around 1-ish, we'll take a lunch break. And I say 1-ish because it'll depend on where we're at in the flow of the process, and sometimes I need a little more time to finish rolling out a concept to you. And then we'll end at 6. So the bathrooms are at the back of the room, and there's tea back there. And now if everybody could just shut off their phones. Just even if you think you've already done it, just double check. So come on up here, Gretchen. Well, there's a chair there. We'll leave your briefcase back there. You won't need it. I want to give you sit here. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Somebody had their hand up. Yes. You won't need to take notes. This is an experiential process, so you won't need to take notes. And if you really want to take notes, I'll give you some paper. Yeah, and the reason I'll share the reason for that. But at the very least, shut your ringer off, and not on vibrate, like off, because vibrate wants to be sound, right? Okay, so let's see what else. If you have a question about anything that I cover, just ask me and I'll reframe it as many times as you need me to in order for you to totally get it, okay? I don't care how many times I have to reframe it. I don't have any judgment on that. So what it's about is making sure that I teach it to you in a way that you can totally get it. That's all that matters to me. So rather than try to ask your neighbor what I just said, ask me, because they don't know any more than you do. That's why they're out there and they're not here. Okay? So if you think the person next to you is an expert and they have the answer for you, they don't. Ask me, right? And the reason I say that is because if you're talking to your neighbor, you're missing the next thing I'm saying. And if you've missed what I've said, and then you miss the next thing, then the thing after that isn't going to make any sense to you, right? So always like back to front, just ask me whatever you need to ask me. On the breaks, for sure, I will disappear because it's how I recharge. So if you have questions, I'll give you a Q&A moment. So you can ask me anything you need to ask me. If you want to chat privately with me, I'll give you guys an opportunity to do that at some point throughout the day. Sometimes maybe you just don't think you want to share it in front of the room. Okay. Let's see, what else? We are recording the event, and so the camera's shooting onto me, so you don't have to worry about you being on camera. And then if you want to have access to that, we'll have it available for sale later on today, so that you can watch the recording over and over and over, and just go over those tools and reuse those tools again and again and again. So come up front, guys. I think that's it. And there's lots of water. You know, I really encourage you to drink a lot of water. The brain needs water, and you'll see what I mean by that as we go through the class today. So I would suggest at least 1.5 liters of water throughout today, okay? And if you're a caffeine drinker, you need even more water because caffeine actually dehydrates the organs. And when the organs are dehydrated, then the brain can't fire effectively. And if the brain can't fire effectively, then you end up spinning your wheels and achieving what you want to achieve. So even though the high from caffeine is great in the moment, you need to counter that, because I like my caffeine too. You need to counter that with lots of water consumption, all right? I think that's it. So what we're gonna do is just really quickly go around the room. I'm gonna have you introduce yourself and tell a little bit about why you're here, why you think you're here, and what you'd like to get out of today's program. So, Sal, why don't you start?
My name is Sal. I'm a loan officer. I got introduced to Deborah through Alan. And today I hope to get out of the session just more in depth with myself and just who I am, what my purpose is, and be able to continue to love myself on a deeper level.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Joe Hodges. I'm Salvador brother. I do payroll for 5 years in Oxnard. He invited me, thought this might do me some good, so my data just came to see some of the trying out this experience. See if it can help me with what I do as far as my job and just in general.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Joe.
My name is Joan. I'm a registered nurse and a future home stager. I have been, well actually it's my third my mastery, and I have just grown a lot since. And I want to continue.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
My name is Chris Amato. I work with Ritz Executives. What I hope to achieve with this session is just basically learn another tool or two to continue my self-development and my business development.
That's great. Thank you, Chris. Leslie, go.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Leslie Bass, and I'm an entrepreneur and with Ritz Executives, and I'm here for self-development to grow.
Awesome.
Good morning, everyone. Alan Vitas, I'm the Realty Executives broker owner. Been with Deborah here for about a year now. I'm also a practitioner, NLP alumni. Right, there's a couple of us here in the room. Great to see you guys. Today, just the outcome that I'm looking for is just more tools that just continuously up leveling my game, and so we can grow. So,
Awesome. Thank you for coming.
thank you.
Hans Sperling, I'm a corporate lawyer. I lost count how many programs I can do. Every time I just make more breakthroughs, more progress, and it's transforming my business and my life and making my marriage happier. And I just want to keep improving and not fall back into my own habits.
Awesome.
Hi, good morning. My name is Christian. This is my first time here. I own my own business in San Diego. I hope to get better tools personally for my business.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. I'm here to learn more about neuroengineering and technology.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hello everyone, we're Kai with Blues Air Controller, here for personal advancement that will translate into business.
Hey guys, Dawid Mansour is there, part of the team that's here. We're taking some courses with Deborah. My personal goal here is to learn some streams tools to be able to accomplish things more.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jessica Baca, and I work for Home Guard Home Warranty. I was introduced to Deborah through Alan Vitas at this company retreat. I've been attending Deborah's Mind Mastery seminars this entire year, thus far, every month, and I've had many shifts within myself, and I want to continue to grow and develop and reinforce everything, all the tools that she gives me on a monthly basis. So, good to be here with you all.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Joanna Baca, Jessica Baca's
student, and I'm here with an open mind and just for self-development.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody, I'm Leonard Loomis, president of Loomis Hair, and I'm here just to expand consciousness and learn things.
I'm Ed Rosenthal, I'm a successful downtown real estate broker and survivor of an extreme life-changing event in the Mojave Desert. And I've kind of reached a blah period. And I went through a session with Deborah, and it was great. And I want to see which way to direct my business and get off the dime on my memoir. So it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, glad to have you. A week in the desert alone without food or water. Power of the mind.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sandra Rubio. I'm the office manager at Realty Executives. I came here through Alan as well. I'm here with a big group from our office. I'm here to try to gain more tools, to learn a little bit more how to self-improve myself. Just in general life, work, everything.
Everything. Awesome.
My name is Gretchen Sawyer. I'm here with the Loomis Hair team, and I'm here to continue to listen and observe.
Perfect.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Fernando Toribio. I'm with Intel Real Estate Services. I'm a real estate agent and life and health agent as well. First time here, was invited by one of the victims here, Sal, who's a loan officer. Since it's my first time, really just observe and see what I can actually learn and adapt or add on to, self-development.
That's awesome. So welcome, everyone. So let's start from the beginning. The reason that I do this, why do I do this? So I do this because it's my way of sharing my gift with you. And we all have gifts within us. We're all born with gifts. We all have innate talents. And I feel that the biggest gift we all have is our own mind. And so using our own mind to its greatest capacity is what we're really brought here to do. And we might think it looks like real estate or whatever we think it looks like, but at the end of the day, what it really is about being the best you that you can possibly be. And to use whatever experiences you have that are going on for you as being a way of expressing those gifts and expressing those talents and taking your greatest self into the marketplace and just sharing your awesomeness. So my gift is I'll explain it to you from a couple of different angles. So I feel that one of my most cherished gifts is I can read energy. And so when I meet someone, I read their energy in their aura, in their mind, how their mind fires, their emotional patterns, and I can see where the energy blocks are. So I can read if they're limiting beliefs, if they're judgments. Someone needs to turn their phone off. Who's beeped?
Me, I was making sure mine was turned off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where the energy blocks are, where the pattern overlays, because there'll be like an overall pattern, an overall theme to your life that you're living out, and then there'll be little like spin-off patterns that will play out beyond that bigger pattern. And it will then get projected through your own experiences, and then those experiences will feed back to you how you really think, and how you really think determines how you really feel, and how you really feel determines the quality of the experiences that you create for yourself. And so that's kind of like a ABC of how the universe works, how you work. And so my skill, I guess, is that I can talk to someone on the phone or pass someone on the street or meet someone at a party and I can pick up on everything that's going on inside of them, what their judgments are, what their limiting beliefs are, where their blocks are, how they decided that, who they learned it from, and what age they decided to be that. And so sometimes it gets noisy. So I've learned to shut it off, because you can imagine, you know, being at a party or in a nightclub, what that must be like. So I've learned to shut it off, and I've learned to separate me from that. Because at one point early in my life, I took that on, and I would become that. I internalized it, and I became a lot of what other people were, to my own detriment for a long, long time. However, the upshot of that is that I actually, you know, that saying, walk a mile in someone's shoes. So I actually was able to step into other people's belief systems and self-relationship to, and by taking that on, I actually really developed a high level of empathy. So being an empath is reading other people's emotional patterns, but then knowing how to cut it off instead of becoming someone else's emotional pattern. Bless you. So through all of that, you know, it's been like a lifetime in the making. It's not something that I just started doing, because I've been doing this since I was a baby. And I remember all of it, every step along the way. So I want to just take today with you and share some tools to help you create some space between what the world believes, what your friends believe, what your family believes, what your culture believes, what your industry believes, so that you can decide what you believe, because whatever you decide you believe is what you become, right? And throughout the process of today, I'm going to do two things with you. I'm going to talk to you like I am now, consciously, and I'm also going to download some new energy unconsciously, so when you walk out the door at every break, you're functioning at a higher level, and you're leaving behind the things that you've been holding on to that have blocked you, okay? And so if throughout the day you start to feel uncomfortable, that's a really good thing. And the more uncomfortable you feel, that's the more I'm doing my job. So if at any point throughout the day you're not feeling uncomfortable, just raise your hand and let me know, and I'll spin it up a bit, okay? So the other thing I want to point out is that the ego has a tendency to resist your awesomeness. And so your ego will show up and say, this isn't real, oh, it's that stuff, it's, you know, airy-fairy, it's, I don't have time, I need to be somewhere else, this stuff I need to be doing. Whatever your ego tells you is its way of keeping you small. Because if you keep yourself busy, then you never really get a chance to connect into your awesomeness. And if you never really totally connect into your awesomeness, then you'll always play small. Whether that's in poverty, money-wise, love-wise, health-wise, freedom-wise, time-wise, whatever it is, it shows up in a multitude of ways. So what I'm going to ask you to do is throughout the day when your ego goes, we need to be somewhere else, I want you to just tell it to shut up. Because you're exactly where you need to be right here, right now, where you need to be sitting in this chair. So your consciousness brought you here long before you ever got here today, right? So I want to just kind of pause and ask, are there any atheists in the room? Okay, awesome. Because I like to start with prayer. I think it's always powerful to start with prayer. Is that okay with you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, and you can change when, if I use like a word that you disagree with, you change it to your word. Okay, just close your eyes for a second. So, Lord, for myself, for all of my relationships, for all of my family members and their relationships, for all of my ancestors and their relationships back through all time, through all of our lives. Lord, please help us all forgive, be forgiven, and all forgive ourselves totally and completely. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Lord, fill us all with your love and give us all complete peace now and forever. Please, Lord, thank you, Lord. Lord, we thank you for your love. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for the gift of life and all the many gifts you give us daily. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Amen. Okay, so let's get rolling. First of all, let me just, I'm going to go through it and I'm going to explain some real basic stuff to you about how energy flows in your world via your thoughts, because then it'll help you get some scope on how powerful your thinking is, right? Okay, so Dr. Emoto did did anybody see the movie What the Bleep? Put it on your radar. You might want to just rent the, or buy the DVDs, What the Bleep Do We Know? What the Bleep Do We Know 1 and 2? So, What the Bleep is basically a movie, sort of slash documentary about consciousness. And so in that documentary, they profiled Dr. Emoto's experiment that he did with water. You know, water is probably one of the most malleable elements that we have on the planet. And even though it seems very malleable, it always wins. Like water always wins. The earth moves for water. Rock, solid rock moves for water. Have you ever been caught in a wave in the ocean? You know, water's like extraordinary. So the interesting thing about that is we are 75% water. So you, as a solid human being, are actually 75% water. And the reason I like this experiment as an example is because given that we're 75% water, we have and water is malleable, we have the power of our thought actually impacts us physiologically because we're 75% water. And here's why. So here's the experiment that Dr. Emoto did. He basically took regular tap water and he froze it. And it shows up in a particular way when it's frozen and it has no energy projected onto it. And then he prayed over it and sent it thought emotion. And then the crystals of the water changed based on the thought emotion that he sent it. So if you look at this on the left is polluted water. And this is that water being blessed in a meditative process, you know, praying over it basically, and then refrozen, and that's how it turned out on the right. So that's you. So you could be completely down and out in your ability to create. Could be in a completely negative state, health, wealth, love, relationships, whatever. And by changing your thought patterns, you can actually redesign yourself and turn yourself into a beautiful crystalline being. So here's what pure water looks like, just natural. And here's what water after prayer looks like. And then the next box is water with thank you label in Japanese. So being that Dr. Emoto is Japanese, that's what, when we pour water into a bottle and the label says thank you, that's how the water crystals actually restructure themselves. So imagine if you were to say to yourself all day long, thank you, how the water in your body would shift, which would cause your energy to shift, which would cause your results to shift. Is this making sense to you? So then this last box is water in a bottle with Hitler written on it. Japanese, but irrelevant, right? Language doesn't vary that much when it comes to emotion. And so, and we all know what Hitler did. And the space that he was coming from in terms of his energy. So I've always had this belief that peace on earth starts with inner peace. Because we can't war on another person unless we're warring on ourselves. We can't judge another person unless we're judging ourselves. So you might actually start to put yourself in check every time you're judging someone. Like every time you look at someone with lack of appreciation, oh, I don't like that outfit, oh, look at her hair, oh, look at that guy's whatever, you know, his shoes are ugly. Whatever you're saying is always full circle about you. That is a reflection of the relationship that you have with yourself. So what this does is it really puts you on notice to be very circumspect in what you think. So it's time to become a little birdie on your own shoulder, keeping yourself in excellence around your thought processes. Because if you don't, that's what happens, that's what you do to yourself. So the other thing I want to demystify today is, and I'm going to teach you about the neuroscience behind all of this, how this all affects your brain syndicate, is that there are no victims. So I believe that in the work that I do is to bring people to a place of cause. So when you're in a place of cause, you're at cause over your life, then there's no more victimization. So every time you want to do the pity party, you need to like pull yourself out of it and go, wait a minute, I'm really at cause. So how do I choose a new thought pattern? Well, even just asking yourself that question puts you at cause. You can't ask yourself at cause because you're at cause, right? So the reason that I said write notes rather than type them is because it takes more neural pathways to write a sentence than it does to type it into an electronic object. And so in the writing of the words, you actually are repatterning your own neurology in the moment on the fly. So for those of you that do journal, I recommend you journal with pen and paper. And for those of you that don't journal, I recommend that you journal with pen and paper. Okay. So here's just some more pictures. The word angel, the word peace, the word spirit, the words you disgust me. Do you ever say that to yourself? I know some people do. You know, I was in the change room at the gym one time, and this lady was unpacking her gym bag, and she forgot some of her gear. And she, out loud, she said, "Oh my God, I'm so stupid, I forgot it again." I thought to myself, wow, now we know why. With self-talk like that, you're just gonna forget it again and again and again. So I said, cancel. And she's like, what? Now I cancel that. She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, you're programming yourself to forget it, number one. And number two, you're putting yourself down and you're calling yourself stupid. So that's number two. She goes, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah. So instead, say to yourself, next time I've remembered. And I forgive myself for forgetting. What's the opportunity of this? You know, as we go throughout the day, I'm going to teach you how to ask yourself higher vibrational questions. Because most people just ask themselves the wrong questions, and that's why you get the results that you get. So if you go through the day saying, how come I don't have X, then there'll be all of the opportunity in the world for you to look at why you don't have X. And then the focus becomes on the not having. So then you go ahead and you manifest more not having. I used to work with at-risk youth. When I first moved to California, and I was living in Long Beach, and there was this big intervention program that the Long Beach Police Department and the city had rolled out. And they asked me to be involved in it. I said, I can't be involved in something that focuses on what's wrong with people. Do you have a question? Question? Ask me. No? Okay. So I can't be involved with something that focuses on what's wrong with people. It's about focusing on what's possible in people. So kids that are in trouble, I guess we're going to label it that way, are just projecting their energy in a negative way. And it shows you how powerful they are going down that path. So imagine if we taught them to redirect that energy in a positive way. Right? The words, you fool. So you ever say that to yourself? I'm such a fool. Or you're a fool. Such an idiot. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. To oh my God, you're such an idiot, even makes it deeper. So if you consider the relationship between oh my God and you're such an idiot, you're basically saying that God thinks you're an idiot. And what's our highest relationship that most of us believe in is God. So if God thinks you're an idiot, of course you're an idiot. How would you ever pull yourself out of that spiral? No wonder you're not getting the results you want to get in your life. So over the 20-some years that I've been doing this, the world has finally caught up to me, because I've been saying this for a long time. Thoughts are things. Thoughts become things. Our thoughts become things. And that's why people that grow up in really bad situations and choose to change how they talk to themselves actually prosper and grow and blossom and become amazing. But you have to choose. See, there's a difference between observation and choosing. Choosing is a higher form than observation. So there's going to be a period where you go through observing what doesn't work, right? How many of you know what doesn't work in the world? Yeah. So you're going to go through a process of observing what doesn't work. And then at some point when you're so sick and tired of things not working in your life, you're going to choose for things to be different. And it's the choice that causes the opening for the mind to work in a new way. Air on a G string by Bach. So this is music. By the way, music is so powerful. Here's Imagine by John Lennon. There's Amazing Grace. Photo of dolphins, photo of a lotus flower. Here's I Love You. And there's Love and Gratitude. Look at the difference between You Fool and Thank You and Love and Gratitude and I Love You. I love this experiment because it shows in a real example what you're doing to yourself through your negative self-talk. It's a beautiful way of understanding the power of your mind. So do it, and let's do it. And then war and peace. Look at how it broke down the crystal, so only a fraction of it shows, only a part of it shows. There's heavy metal music. Here's "You Make Me Sick, I Will Kill You." So, you know, if you're watching, if you say that to someone, "You make me sick," or if you say "you're stupid," or if you tell someone they're a loser, or you tell yourself. Love and appreciation. I can't show those enough, you know, it's like, look at all the beauty in those crystals. We probably, you know, to sit down and draw these out, it's like a snowflake, right? Every snowflake is so beautiful because it comes from a place of purity. And so do you. You know, when we're born, we start out pure love. And then it's through our environment and our programming and conditioning that we forget that we're pure love, and we take on the programming and conditioning that we're taught by the people that raise us, who do the best they can with the resources they have. And then we get to a place where we, for some reason, if you choose to accept that negative programming and conditioning, you forget how beautiful and how majestic and how awesome you are. Until now. And then you can come through here and you can learn to repattern yourself. I love you. If you were to stand in front of the mirror for 30 seconds a day, or 30 seconds at a time, 3 times a day, just like you would eat a meal, and say, I love you. Oh my God. That's a good attachment. I love you, oh my God. Oh my God, I love you. Think of all the amazing blessings that would show up. Everything that's attached to love would show up in your life. Nice people, beautiful experiences, cool events, fun times, healthy body, wealth, all the things that are connected to love. So here's how you look. So there's the human body, and there's you. So most of you is water. So check this out. Your lungs are 90% water. Who knew? Right? Your blood is 82% water. Your skin is 80% water. Your muscle is 75% water. Your brain is 70% water. Your bones are 22% water. So just the simple tweaking of what you say to yourself shifts the water crystals in all of those percentiles of every area of your body. So that basically you have the ability to completely change your entire environment. Your complete environment. If there's anything in your life that's not working, you being more you, being more your authentic self, so you being more Christian, have the ability to change your entire environment. It's not about being someone else. It's not being another Ed or the next person. You know, how many times when you go somewhere and you see someone that's talented, you wish you were them? Or you see someone that's slim and you wish you were them? Or you see someone that's attractive and you wish you were them? Or you see someone driving a sexy car and you wish you were them? Stop it. Because what you're doing is you're saying, I'm not enough. And that other person is more than me. And it's a lie. So you being more you is all you need to do. Yes.
Are you saying the crystals are there before the water's frozen?
Does it matter?
Probably not, I just want to understand.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, because it's your water and your thoughts create those crystals. Or shall I say, your thoughts create how the water functions. Like, what's the energy in the water? What's the emotion in the water? So whether we freeze it or not, you become your thoughts. Yeah.
So how does like juices and other beverages play a part of water?
Well, they don't, because this is water that's in our cells. Water we take in is different. So to go down to nutrition class, which we don't have time for, when you drink water, you want to make sure that it's getting into your cells and not just sitting in your gut. And so lots of times, it will just sit in the gut if the gut health is not good. So gut health is the key to brain health. So you want to eat alkaline foods, and you want to, just basically eat as healthy as you can. Take probiotics, do all that stuff. And juicing is good for that because it helps restore the gut health. The healthier the gut, the better the transmission of the nutrients to the whole body. And then when you do drink water, it actually can get into the cells instead of just sitting in the gut. So when you drink water, you want to drink water on an empty stomach. Either a half hour before a meal, you can have water, or you can wait and 90 minutes after a meal, you can drink water. So when you're consuming beverages, when you're eating, it basically causes the gut to not be able to digest as well. Because it dilutes the digestive juices. And then fermentation takes place. So, does that answer your question? Kind of. So this is you. And then this is how your circuitry looks. So your mind is in every cell of your body. Every cell. Every organ, every tissue, every muscle, your bone marrow. Your mind, your whole being thinks. Your brain is just a transmitter and a receiver of that thought. So it's the quality of your self-talk that actually lights up the transmitter of your brain. And I'm going to teach you about the brain syndicate. So the brain syndicate is made up of your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, and your hippocampus. And it's the hippocampus that actually creates new neurotransmitters so that when you think loving thoughts, they flow more freely throughout your life. Because you are your life. There is no separation.
Are you saying there's no separation? In essence, does that mean when we kind of tell ourselves, oh, when I get there, or when I have this will happen, or when I do this, that will happen?
Yeah, because most of us are taught growing up that at some point way down the road, your life will be great. And that you should live your life thinking that somewhere down the road, everything's going to be okay. Basically, what that programs you to believe is that where you are right here, right now, isn't okay. And as long as you believe that where you are right here, right now is not okay, then that out there will never be okay. Does that make sense?
So it's like chasing.
You're
almost
chasing,
like you're chasing something.
and you're chasing it away. Yeah, because it'll always elude you.
So really, it's how you process your thoughts.
Yep.
That take you to actions.
Yeah.
That take you to results.
So it goes thought, emotion, behavior. Results.
What's the relationship with emotions and
expression.
The thought creates the emotion.
Emotion, feeling, right?
Yeah.
So it's the feeling that you get from what you thought. Through the feeling,
You act.
it's not actually from the thought to the action.
Right. Feelings in between. So your feelings are a barometer to what you're thinking. So if you're feeling bad, sad, depressed, apathetic, lonely, angry, victim-y, scarcity, whatever you're feeling, frustrated,
It's very common.
yeah, is an indication of how you're thinking. So if you're not feeling good, it's because you're running a negative thought pattern, or you're stuck in a limiting belief. And then it lights up your entire neural network, and it patterns, then your brain patterns this, because you're just as duplicating what you feed it. So then this, let's say you've created based on this, let's say you've created neural networks around you make me sick or idiot, then that becomes, then that flows through your system and you become it. Therefore you project it in your energy field, and then you attract all sorts of people and experiences to reflect it back to you, to show you how you're running your mind. So whenever we think that it's someone else out there, it's never about them, it's always coming from here. That's why we have, if you point the finger, there's 3 pointing back here. And the cool thing about that is, it's all feedback. So then you can look at the feedback and go, oh, okay, I need to shift me. It's a wonderful opportunity to know what you need to shift in yourself. Life's like that. Whatever we have going on up here is all about what's going on here. Remember, world peace starts with inner peace. If all you see is a war out there, then guess what you got going on here?
Question. So, if what is out, at what point do you distinguish what's coming back to you is from you, or it's from an environment where other individuals have contributed to that, and it's coming back to them, you just in the pathway?
It's still you.
It's because they're in the environment.
Because you put them there. And so in relationships, this is where it gets fun, okay? So in relationships, let's say someone is mirroring something back to you that you don't like, whatever it is. They're stuck, they're negative, they're whatever. That's an opportunity for you to raise up your self-awareness and shift you. And when that happens, one of two things are going to take place. They're either going to mirror something back to you that's new and higher level, or they're going to disappear out of your life. Let me say that again. So when you see that someone's mirroring something back to you that you don't like let's say they're judgmental, or let's say they're negative. Like, I used to have a girlfriend that whenever we went somewhere, she criticized everything. And at first I couldn't see it. The reason I couldn't see it is because it was my blind spot, because I was a very critical person. And then I started to work on that in myself, because I decided to not be so critical of me. Because if I'm criticizing stuff outside of me, it means I'm criticizing me. And if that's all I can see is how things don't work, then all I'm seeing in me is how I don't work. So, of course, my friends are gonna be people that see how things don't work. And when I started to practice the I love you, by looking in the mirror and saying several times a day, I love you, no matter how shitty I felt, you know, I did that exercise. And the more I did that, then the more my blind spot became less blind and more aware. So then the more I was able to see it in others, and then as I started healing me, then our relationship started to break down. And as our relationship, do you want to grab these lights too? As our relationship started to break down, I became more and more uncomfortable spending time with her, and she became more and more uncomfortable spending time with me. And then the agitation grew between us because we were on two different frequencies. I remember there was like a defining moment, and there is in every relationship. We actually were, we were in the Middle East, and we were at an event, and it was on a super yacht, and we were walking, I mean, this thing was like so opulent, it was like, I don't even know how to describe it to you. Like if there was any precious material that you can think of on the planet, even stuff I don't, you know, agree with in terms of my, like even like ivory, like I don't agree with it, it's against my value system, but it was there, right? So we're at this party and we're on this super yacht, and all she can point out is what's wrong with the super yacht. And I'm like, how can we find fault in being on a $70 million vessel in the Middle East? Like, I'm sorry, but I can't go there with you. And by the very nature that I couldn't go there with her, made her really uncomfortable. And it made me uncomfortable because I wanted to have fun and not find the fault in this uber luxurious space. So then that was, for me, that was my like aha moment where I'm like going, oh my gosh, like I can't do this anymore. I want to be around people that are just like, oh wow, thank you for this experience. And for having pulled in these amazing people in this super cool environment that most people don't even dream about, much less experience, right? Like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that was like, and I still love her, and I still like, if she called and needed help, I would never say no. But is this the person I want to spend time with? Not so much. Because it's a vibration that's really uncomfortable. And so that, be prepared for your relationships to shift. Now, there have been times since then that we've run into each other at events that we've been able to spend time together because she's also started to shift. But then as soon as the negativity and the criticism comes out, I just ran into her the other night at an event, and someone handed out their business card, and she like went crazy over this business card, there's so many things wrong with it. And one of the things that was wrong with it is that you can't write on it because it was a black card. And the person that gave it to her reached out, took it from her hand, turned it over, and said, there's a space right here that we thought of that. And she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, see, Deborah, this is why you don't hang out with this person anymore. But there are more moments that I can than there was before. So relationships will shift as you shift. And be prepared for that. Because your environment is a reflection of you. Like your environment. Your environment is in here. And as you shift in here, then this shifts too. Yeah.
But it's a choice.
It's always a choice.
You choose
You always choose.
to change or to surround yourself. And what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel
or not.
Or not.
That's how abusive relationships happen. People keep choosing the negative pattern unconsciously. I don't think anyone wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to choose to stay in this abusive relationship. It's an unconscious. So the point here is to help you become more consciously aware of what you do unconsciously. Because most people are sheep. You know, unfortunately, and it's not a criticism, it's just an observation of the way the world functions. Most people are running from victim consciousness. Now we're starting to wake up, more and more people are waking up and realizing that there are no victims, and everything I experience in my world is a product of how my world is here. Therefore, I have the power to change it. If you look at your external world and you blame it on others, then you render yourself powerless. This is the key. This is the difference that makes the difference. Yeah.
I enjoy reading the international news, and it's all bad. Now,
I haven't read any news that's good in the mainstream.
is there a way I can still enjoy that and stay positive?
Well, it's interesting. What do you enjoy about it? If it's all bad, what are you aligning with?
I do enjoy.
What's enjoyable about reading something that's all bad? Think about what you're saying.
Probably, I like following all these wars. Stuff.
Yeah. Hence my point.
Well, if it's well written.
So if it's war and destruction and it's well written, you're enjoying it. I can't go there with you. I mean, that's a choice. So ask yourself, what is it about that I enjoy? And then choose something else, unless you want to stay down that path. I mean, at the end of the day, how is that showing up in your life?
I'm not sure. I think maybe I should shift to the business section. That's even in the same paper as usually.
What if I just asked you to do this? So for 30 days, no mainstream news. What if you just did that for 30 days?
You remember yourself.
Yeah? And the time that you would normally spend reading mainstream news or watching it on television or getting it on the radio or however you do it, that you were instead to load yourself with positive material, self-help stuff. Like when you're driving, to only listen to positive self-help stuff. Podcasts. Listen to like podcasts. Right? Just for 30 days. Would you accept that? Would you give it a go?
Yeah.
Good. Good choice. Okay, so average body frequencies. So just for fun, I thought I would share this with you. As we start to get into how the brain syndicate actually works, so you can begin to repattern your frequency and your neurology, and then how that stimulates the brain. So the thyroid and the parathyroid glands are between 62 and 68 megahertz. Okay, these are pretty pivotal. The thalamus is between 65 and 68 as well. The heart is between 67 and 70. And the liver is between 55 and 60. The stomach is between 58 and 65. The pancreas is between 60 and 80. The ascending colon is between 50 and 60. And the descending colon is between 58 and 63. So if you want to do a little R&D on your own at what megahertz are in relationship to sound and thought and what's coming off your cell phone, your computers, your television, food, right? So if you eat, say you drink soda, which would probably be negative 500, you know, it would completely go against the grain of how your body functions. So if you're just not even getting into the mind, and you're just looking at how your organs function, be at cause over what you create yourself to be. So just make better choices. And be relentless with your self-talk. Relentlessly loving with your self-talk. So that's you in your original form. Some of you have different skin tones, but it's all the same, right? Inside, I'm missing a student or two. All right. So I think this is a good place to pause. I hesitate to just keep moving through information. And let's talk to me. Tell me, ask me, engage. This is open floor. Yeah.
May I offer a response to having my mind in this comment, because I related a lot to this comment.
Sure.
And this kind of came to me as you were asking. So, you know, I have that same feeling, like, I want to know what's going on in the world. Like, people are like, well, why do you read all this negative stuff if it's negative? And my immediate response, I think, is a lot of people say, I feel like I want to know what's going on in the world. So I think that's a very social thing. You actually want to see how you relate as, you know, all the other people know what's going on. The negativity, I think, just comes in from media. You know, what leads. You know, they print the negative stuff. They don't, you know, the war in, you know, Syria, Iraq. They don't print all of the people who are working through it, who are living their life over there. It's not interesting in the news. I don't know, maybe that's overflowing a lot of it up.
Well, yeah, okay, so if you could just indulge me for 30 days, you would find at the end of those 30 days that none of that immediately affects your life. Whatever's going on in the world, for just 30 days, I want you to just step into a bubble of self-love and conscious awareness of what you're programming your mind with. So that at the end of that 30 days, you will discover, I promise you this, that whatever was going on in the world in those 30 days is relevant to you and what you're creating in your world. And if you just unplug for 30 days and do the mirror work I suggested, it's so simple. Like, I'm not asking you to do a whole lot, you know? I'm not asking you to go run a marathon here. To just look in the mirror 3 times a day and say, I love you. If you just do that, switch that out, and read something positive from the time that you would read the news, you will see at the end of those 30 days that your world has unplugged from that world. Therefore, you're now getting what you want to get out of life. Because when you plug into that, you're constantly programming yourself of negativity, and it takes the focus off of creating love and joy and wealth and freedom. And it's designed that way. Because what you say, you know, what bleeds is what leads. So think about that. It leads you down a path of bleed, and so your focus is on all the bad stuff, and that's where the bandwidth goes instead of to this.
Yeah, I actually did that for like 3 months. And I was shocked at Not only the news, I did not miss, but the advertising.
Oh,
There was like so much medication.
yeah,
Couldn't believe it. So that's a good suggestion.
yeah. Yeah, because, you know, I used to work in the media, okay? So all the media is so funny. This kills me, it cracks me up. When people say, oh, the media, they just never report the truth. It's like, hello. Who said they're truth seekers? Who said that they're about the truth? Who said the media is supposed to tell you the truth? That's your projection, that the media has your best interests at heart. It's such bullshit. The media isn't there to report the truth. Hello? The media is there to make money. I worked in the media for 6 years. It's about filling space, whether it's space on a paper, or space on a television, or space on a radio. It's about selling and making money. So they've got to sensationalize whatever's going on in the world so they can up the price of the space. So when you think about wanting to know what goes on in the world, you're medicating yourself with someone else's spin, which has been doctored to charge a premium for the space. You don't give a shit about the truth. You have to really think about this, people. If you want to know what's going on in the world, get on an airplane and go to that place and see what's going on. And see if that really matters to your life. I invite you. If you want to know how the stock market, the NASDAQ affects you, go to Wall Street and see what's going on with the NASDAQ and see if that really impacts everything about your existence. Does that make you happy? Does that bring more love into your life? Do you have more friends? Does your business increase? Do your clients show up? If you want to know how the war in Syria is impacting your joy in your liver, then go to Syria and see how that impacts the functionality of your liver or your heart or your lungs. I'm sure it'll probably have a negative impact. And then come home and see if you really needed to do that. So, you know, these are the excuses that we sell ourselves to keep ourselves distracted from how awesome we are. Yeah.
See, I used to watch the news for a whole hour before.
Oh my God.
So I decided to shift.
Yeah.
And not even watch the news at all.
Yeah.
And it did change my mindset.
Of course it does. That's why I'm teaching this. Okay, so any other questions? Do you guys need to stand up and move around? I'm starting to see some inertia hitting. Let's take a 10-minute break.